With the state of classic WoW content, we are doing a tier list. Because guess what? Everyone else did one, and everyone else did a shittier tier list than me because they did the regular tier list website, and I'm making mine special by doing it in person on stream, making it interactive. Now, this is all there is to talk about, because you can either shit on Blizzard, you can either suck Blizzard's dick, or at the end of the day, you can make another fucking class guide for a 20-year-old game that came out in 2007, so next year will be 20 years old for TBC. And we are doing a tier list. Now, we're gonna start off very simple, very easy, very open, right? What goes in S tier? Quite simply put, Resto Shaman, no matter who, no matter what guild or level of sweatiness, you're gonna have at a minimum 3 Resto Shamans. They're just that fucking good. Shaman in general is amazing, but Resto Shaman in S tier, right? Now, before we go on to every other healer, we're going to be randomly jumping through every single class, right? Now, when I first did this video, I put Rogue in E tier. All versions of Rogue went straight down into E tier because Rogue is honestly dog shit. Now, with improved exposed armor and the raids being post-nerf, I have changed my decision and Rogue is no longer going to be in E tier, right? I think putting Rogue in E tier is very egregious. So, every single Rogue spec goes straight here into D tier. If you're a great Rogue, top tier, best of the line, Giga Chad, like for example, I've got people in my chat like Dan Sinatra who passes straight 99s, he would be a B tier player. Well, he's an S tier player, but playing a C tier, D tier class, but he would be up here, B to A. But the average Rogue is going to be down here in D tier. So I'm putting all of Rogues in D tier. That's where they're going. That's not to say that you can't bring a Rogue. If you're in a casual guild or an average guild, it doesn't fucking matter what you bring. Because an average guild, nobody's performing at a 95 or 99 passing level. You're all mid. So you can bring a mid Rogue who'll do just about as much damage as an okay Warlock or Mage. Now in PvP, right, I should clarify, S tier, S plus, honestly above S tier. Rogue is goated, but this is a PvE tier list. I didn't put PvE here, so I'm gonna actually add that in. PvE tier list. So Rogue is gonna stay right there. Now, let's move on to some tanks. What do we have in tanking, guys? That's right, the only 2 S-class tanks are Prot Pally for being the best AoE tank, and Guardian Druid for being the best single target tank, right? Now, I'll show you guys where Warriors go in a little bit. So, we have these 2 tanks. They're amazing. They deserve S tier. I can explain in more depth why, but I already did a full video breaking that down, explaining why each class is good for specific reasons. In the context of this tier list, these 2 are S because they are perfect at the jobs they have. Now, Prot Warrior would honestly fall right in between here, in a bracket between A and B. Prot Warriors are not bad. They just do both things worse than the 2 tanks listed above. They are drastically worse at AoE, and the single target is worse than Guardian Druid. Now, everyone's got shit AoE, taunting, and tanking compared to a Prot Pally, right? But in general, Prot Warrior goes right here. A good Prot Warrior is amazing. But it has a much higher skill ceiling, a much higher skill cap to perform at the same level as a Prot Pally or a Guardian Druid. If I had 2 equally skilled people, I would rather have a Prot Pally or a Guardian Druid than this. Because at the end of the day, these will perform better despite this still being good. Now, let's go over every single healer before we go back to DPS, because we finished tanks, right? So, we have Circle of Prayer Priest, right? Healing Circle, S tier. Who called me? Got myself a nice fancy watch so I can see messages on my phone. Except I forgot my password and I can't log into it. So, nonetheless, right here we have Circle Priest. They're fucking phenomenal. Genuinely top tier. One of the best, if not the best healers in the game. You then have Disc, which would be right about here. I wouldn't necessarily say it's terrible, but I would put every other priest spec between C and D. You'll still take a healer if you're in a pug run or you have a healer flake out and you need a healer to fill them out. So we're going to put priest rest down here between C and D. Alright, now what does that leave us with? That's right, you guys got it completely fucking correct. We have Resto Druid. Now, Resto Druid is really good in TBC. They're genuinely phenomenal, never run out of mana, big dick, tank healer, good AoE, well, good dots. So that goes solidly right here in A tier. You take a Resto Druid, you want one at least. They're useful and they're good to have. Now, there is a healer I haven't mentioned yet, and that's correct. Holy pally. Big dick healer. Big balls, brass motherfucker, but he is sadly going solidly into C tier. No healer is particularly bad. Like, no healer is dog shit. But certain healers are just drastically better. It's simply the name of the game. There's nothing to do about it. It's just simply what it is. So, right here, we have the healers listed out. Now, after I rage baited my chat by putting Rogue and E, people got a little mad at me, right? So we restarted the list. But we got our healers done and we got our tanks done. Now we go back to rage baiting everybody by discussing DPS. Now, if you had asked people back in 2021 where Fury Warriors or Arms Warriors went, people would have said E. At the time, there were so many warriors and people were gleefully saying, you're all dog shit, you're all fucked, you all are going down here. And that is simply not true. Especially in a post-nerf raiding scene, in a post-nerf raiding environment, warrior, you need one arms for the buff. That buff is insane. You need to bring an arms warrior. You need one at least. So arms warrior, in regards to damage, it's not going to be as high. But the buff is so useful that it would go right here in B tier. Now where does Fury go? Fury's got big fucking dick. Fury goes in right here between A and B. Fury could be as high as S and A. But for the average player's skill level, because there is like the rage changes and all these things happening, I am putting Fury Warrior right about here between A and B. Fury Warrior is still great, but you don't need 27 of them. You're gonna bring 2, maybe 3. What are you guys in chat saying? Can you guys not hear me? Did stream end? What? It says I still have frames and like I'm live. Chat? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure for a second. Oh, okay. You guys were just listening. Okay, my bad. So there you have Fury. Alright. So we got Warrior out the way. We discussed Rogue. Now we're going to discuss Shaman, Elemental, and Enhancement. Now, in Phase 1, back in 2021, they were S tier. But as each phase progresses, Enhancement and Elemental keep getting knocked down the rankings until they end solidly in around D tier. Now the buffs, the utility, all the stuff that shamans bring will never really drop them below a C tier or a B tier because they're just that good. Wind Fury, all the other totems, Lust, like shamans are too good. You are going to always, no matter what, even if they start as an end here in terms of damage, both shamans, Ellie and Enhance, will always be B tier. Not because they're bad, but because, well, it doesn't matter, the DPS doesn't even matter. The utility you bring is fucking insane. Alright, now, we discussed Shaman, we got Shaman out the way. Now is the one class that has 4 specs. We discussed the Guardian Druid, we discussed the Resto Druid, we have Feral Cat and Boomkin, and they both go in E tier. Now, okay, alright, let me not rage bait everybody. I personally hate Cat. I think Cat is the shittiest, most dogshit class known to mankind. I've always hated playing it. I think it's a subhuman class, and I think it's a fucking beast, fucking animal that belongs down there. But in regards to actual itself and its capabilities, it's right about here. A good Feral Kitty is easily A tier. But considering the skill cap on Feral to play Feral well, I would say 1 in 10 cats are good. 1 in 10 cats are good, right? So assuming cat is equal skill level as a good Fury, right here. Even, in fact, slightly above Fury. But the average cat player is down here. So I'm going to put Fury Cat, well not Fury Cat, Feral Cat in C tier. Because that's where I think they belong overall. Because it's honestly, in my opinion, the highest skill cap class in the game is playing Cat well. Like, Warlock is going to be S tier. Warlock is going to be up here. But it's got 1 button. 2 buttons if you click Seed of Chaos. Otherwise, you're just clicking Shadow Ball. Cat's got, like, it's got more buttons than most people. Now, what about Boomkin? Seed of Corruption. Sorry, my bad. Seed of Corruption. Guys, I'm sick. I'm tired. I've got COVID 2026 or whatever the fuck is going around. I'm literally dying right now as I record this live. And my chat is flaming me for mispronouncing a word. My bad for not flinging my sock at you guys more efficiently. Anyways. Now we, of course, have Boomkin. Now, I gotta be real. The average Boomkin is dog shit, because the average Boomkin player is a very chill, laid back, I'm enjoying the game and loving life kind of player. I never really see sweaty players on a Boomkin. Like, in terms of actual, like, capabilities, it's probably around C to D. The crit buff it brings, it's useful, it has battle res, it has other things as well. So I would put Boomkin in C tier very solidly. A good Boomkin could even be up here. But on average, I would say Boomkin is very solidly C. Rogue and Boomkin probably do the same amount of damage, but the utility a Boomkin brings is drastically more than the improved exposed armor that a Rogue brings. And you still do need improved exposed armor. So you are going to bring 1 Rogue no matter what. No matter how you look at it, you will have 1 Rogue if you have a melee heavy composition. To be fair, Combat Rogue in post-nerf will probably pump and do more than Boomkin, but I do think Boomkin overall in like a pre-nerf situation would have been the better class for sure. But hey, it is what it is. So I'm going to put Boomkin right here. I in fact think Boomkin deserves to be right here in between. Like, I think Boomkin would be right here. But whatever, let's just move on. So, now that we've got Druid out the way. And yes, I know there's going to be 17 billion rogues in my comment section going, actually, Rogue is this amazing and Rogue is this good and just watch me pump and watch me do all this shit. Buddy, the reputation around rogues is fucking ass. You're not getting into any runs. You're not getting into any fucking pugs. Like, legit, your class could be amazing. People are not going to invite a rogue unless they absolutely have to. If you're not your guild's Rogue, if you don't have a Rogue spot in guild yet, you aren't playing Rogue. You guys need to understand that if you don't already have a raid spot, you're not getting into a run as a Rogue for the most part. Unless a guild is actually like struggling or Pug is struggling, you're not gonna get in. And that's no disrespect to Rogues. I think Rogue players are top tier. I think Rogues are phenomenal. I love Rogues. One of my best friends is a Rogue player. Shout out Riv. One of the people in my chat who's the most helpful person, Unk, is a Rogue. The average Rogue player is a good guy. But the stigma around Rogues is terrible. And you don't break stigma easily. So that you guys are staying here. You guys are staying here. To be fair, the average Rogue is also fucking dog shit. At least an anniversary. So yeah, some of you guys are up here. But the majority of you are staying down here. Alrighty. So we got Rogue out the way. We got Druid out the way. We got Shaman out the way. Now, let's do Warlock. Now, right off the rip, I'm just going to put Destruction, Warlock, and S tier. Destro, this stays there. We're not discussing it. It's that good. In terms of damage, Affliction is also really good. Again, you put your curses up and you do your stuff and you still do good damage. You do spam Shadow Bolt still. Thank you very much for the sub, by the way. So, we're putting Affliction right here. You're still only going to have one Affliction and multiple Destros. You're not really going to bring that many Affliction locks. You're going to bring one. But you always want at least one Affliction lock. In regards to damage, you still pump a lot, but you're going to do way less than this. And Demonology, I'm going to be real. In PvE environment, open world farming, S tier. In every other activity, at Demonology, you're going right here. You're going next to the Rogue. You can still do good damage as demo, but nobody's fucking bringing a demo. Like, why would you ever go demo when you could do double the DPS as Destro? And that's Lock. In regards to damage, Fury will do more damage than Affliction, but you always want one Affliction because of the amount of Warlocks you're bringing. So if your meta comp is way more melee, if you're going way more melee for TBC, Fury would be above Affliction. So, in regards to damage, if we're doing raw damage, Affliction would be right about here. Probably above these, but in regards to, it's below Fury. But Affliction is, in regards to what you're bringing, Affliction is in A tier for what you're bringing. Alright, now, we got Warlock out the way, we have Mage. Right off the rip, post nerf, Arcane. Not even close, you're bringing Arcane. Arcane is, it's effectively the highest DPS in the game. In post-nerf raids particularly, Arcane is drastically better than everything else. Maybe Hunter beats Arcane. Maybe Hunter beats Arcane in regards to raw damage. But even that's probably sus and not happening. Arcane Mage is the highest damage in the game in post-nerf. Now, in Black Temple and Sunwell, in regards to like Sunwell and like late Black Temple, the meta will likely change as people figure out depending on what the post nerf changes are. But Arcane Mage is like the highest DPS in the game right now. Now we have Fire. Fire Mages are good, but because raids are gonna go so fast, Fire is still S tier. But nobody's really going to be bringing Fire because Arcane is drastically better. You might have one Fire Mage for your Fire Locks. Because, you know, Shadow Locks and Fire Locks are about the same. Fire Locks do better earlier, but then Shadow Lock becomes better long term. But initially, Fire Lock is better, then Shadow Lock in the long term. So Fire Mage is good, but Arcane is so much better now because of post nerf that Arcane is the go-to mage spec. Frost. It's not even bad. But why on earth would you ever go Frost when you could go Arcane or Fire? I don't think in the entire time I played a TBC or even in any late game raids did I see a Frost Mage for the most part. So now that we got Mage out the way. Honestly, Frost might be the only E tier spec so far. I would say Frost might be the only spec that goes into E tier. Fire though could probably be an A or B right here because Arcane is so much better in post nerf. So you know what? I'm gonna actually drop Frost Mage into E tier because I think Frost Mage is that bad. And Fire Mage, it used to be really good, but I don't know exactly where Fire Mage would fall now. I think S tier is too high for Fire Mage. I think Fire Mage might be here next to Athlete. I think I might drop Fire Mage from S tier down to about B tier right here. I think that's a fairer positioning for Fire Mage. So, we covered Warrior. We got Rogue. We got Warlock. We got Shaman. We got Mage. We got, we have Paladins left. I did Holy and Prot. Now we have, of course, Ret Pally. So, there are only two kinds of Ret Paladin players. Giga Chad, the fucking meme-embodied absolute god tier player. And the average Ret player who belongs down here because they're subhuman, they're masturbating the entire time they're playing. Right? Now, removing the player from the equation, Ret Pally is about here. The buffs they bring, Kings, Salvation, all that stuff. You're going to want at least enough people to cast like Salvation, Kings, and all the buffs. So, you know, you will want your Prot Pally, your Ret Pally, you'll want your Holy Pally to fill out those positions. So Ret Pally, I'm going to put right here. Now, Shockaden. Maybe in PvP. Maybe in PvP, it'd be decent. But if you're playing a Shockaden, in PvE, you're fucking trolling. In PvP, it's probably gonna pop off. But in PvE, like if you play this, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you with my bare fucking hands IRL. If you're in my fucking raid tier. So, Shaman, Druid, Priest, Shadow Priest is what we're missing now. And no, left or right isn't relevant. I should clarify. I didn't specifically put them in terms of like business, just overall S tier. I didn't organize them on like best to worst in each tier. So Shadow Priest, you want minimum one. They're fucking goated. If you have a caster heavy comp, you want a goddamn right here. Now in DPS, Fury would be right here. And Shadow Priest would probably be right about here. But in terms of utility, now, the issue is with Rage being post-nerf, I don't think they're that important anymore. So honestly, I wouldn't be like surprised if the overall meta shifts from needing Shadow Priest to maybe not even bringing them to just do more damage with bigger pumpers faster. Because the buff of these two is S tier. Shaman buffs are S tier, hands down. The damage of Ellie enhanced starts here in phase 1, and then they progressively go down, 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 down as the longer the phases go. Shadow Priest's damage never really gets better. But the utility for your Warlocks and your Mages, like Mana Battery and all that stuff, Shadow Priest, just like Ellie Enhance, is always relevant to bring. But in regards to damage, Shadow Priest by phase, like, by the end of the expansion, is gonna be down here. So, is that every class? I'm doing this live. Did I miss any class? I got Shamans, Paladins, Druids, Priests, Warlocks, Mages. I got Shamans, Rogues. I think I got everything. Chat, am I missing anything? It's a mixture of damage and desirability. I explained that when I was talking about them earlier, Roth. It's just like we're further in the video now, so I didn't say that before. Hunters, I knew I was forgetting something. Am I retarded? How could I forget hunters? If you have a good survival hunter, I would even put him in S tier as well. But I'm gonna put survival right here. With the raids being post-nerf, would marksman even be relevant? I know BM is fucking peak, but Roth, you're a hunter main. You were passing 99 on a hunter. Where would you put marksman on this list out of curiosity? As a 99 passing hunter, where would you put marksman on this list out of curiosity? Fair enough. Right there. With Shakadin and Frost. I assumed it would be down there, but I was like, I got a professional in my chat, so let me ask. So there you guys go. Now, my chat has been kind of mad about the fact that Shadow Priest is up here. So just to make sure my chat calms the fuck down, I'm gonna put Shadow Priest right here. So everybody can calm their fucking titties and stop melting down. Now, I should clarify, because at the beginning I did flame the shit out of rogues, but this is overall for the entire expansion. Overall, combat rogue is right here, slightly below. It's really not that fucking bad. A good combat rogue is gonna pump, especially with, you know, just like, I mean, it's strong. It's strong. So saying every single rogue is down here was rage bait, right? The engagement in the comments gonna be fucking peak. But I would probably put combat rogue higher up. Realistically, Fury with Warglaives is above all DPS. I think the highest DPS in the game is Fury with Warglaives. So Fury with Warglaives would be up here. Rogue with Warglaives would be slightly below. That's why I put survival here, because a good survival would be up here, but I don't think most people can play survival, so I put it here. And you only need one survival anyways. I did try printing them out, John, but my printer ran out of ink and I wanted to make this video today. So, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you all think about this tier list? Did you guys get rage baited? Did you like it? Welcome to the ultimate TBC tier list. Let me know what tier list you want me to do next.